One of the most studied, written about, and utilized mythologies is the Greek and Roman mythology. We see references to it in places we may not even realize. Midas Tire Company, Ajax Dish Soap, Trident Chewing Gum, the Apollo Theater, Venus Razors. The list goes on and on. Literally, I could compile pages for you. I won't, because I have a point to make. But with all of these references, they usually use the myth to make the point for their sale. Mars candy bars. Mars is the god of war. This candy bar will really help you fight the war on hunger. This kind of stuff is real. I'm not making it up. They utilize the story in an accurate or semi-accurate way to promote their business. Then we of course have the entertainment world, where Greek and Roman myths run amok in storylines and plot devices. Arguably one of the most popular movies based on Greek mythology is Disney's Hercules. Now I know there are some really great contenders, but the main feature that I want to dive into is the relationship of Zeus and Hera. So I am mainly looking at television shows and movies that include their relationship in some way. If you have any that you know of, drop the title in the comments down below. In the Disney version, of course, the myth cannot be in its truest form. It is a family movie after all. So they formulate a happy little godly family where Zeus and Hera are a married couple that get along. This is fine for Disney, but it's also a gross misinterpretation of the actual characters in Greek mythology. They were not a happy little family. Zeus pretty much saw a woman he was attracted to in any way and impregnated her. This is the way the character is in the myths. Hera in the myths is extremely jealous and vengeful of this. She hates that Zeus doesn't pay attention to her as much as all of his human women. In her stories, she is known to turn these women into monsters, ban them from giving birth on land, and even tricks Zeus into killing them. She has no mercy for those Zeus has been with, and the offspring that was created, forget about it. So being an avid fan of Greek mythology and seeing this representation of a happy little family where Zeus and Hera parent Hercules, it's so shockingly inaccurate. Now don't get me wrong, as a kid, I really enjoyed Disney's Hercules. But the more I dove into the actual myth, the less I wanted to watch the false paradise provided by a corporate conglomerate. Fast forward to 2020. We can all agree it was a really weird year. However, there were a ton of really amazing movies, television shows, anime, and books that came out. Plus, with being legally obligated to remain inside, there was plenty of time to binge watch some of these shows too. One that I was most excited about was called Gods and Heroes. It would be an epic 8-episode adventure following the illegitimate child of Zeus. It had an amazing cast, a decent production budget, and it was also produced by Powerhouse Animation Studios, who also produced the Castlevania series on Netflix, Darksiders 2 the video game, and The Adventures of Kid Danger. Plus, it was about Greek mythology. How could I not be on board? After Netflix analysis pulled in data showing that the word Zeus would resonate more with people of different cultures, they changed the title to Blood of Zeus. And they certainly weren't wrong for the change. It was released October 27th in 2020, and by December, it was greenlit for a season 2. Here's a brief overview. From here on out, the video is going to have spoilers, so if you haven't seen the show and you want to without me spoiling the entire thing, I'd throw this video in your saved list and go watch the animation first. The story follows a commoner living in ancient Greece, Heron, who discovers his true heritage as the son of Zeus, and his purpose is to save the world from a demonic army. We start out with demons attacking the city-state near the home of the outcast Heron, who's unliked by the community because of his bastardization. Heron soon learns the truth about his identity of his father. He is the son of Zeus. He and his mother were hidden away by Zeus to be protected from the wrath of Hera. But soon she discovers the existence of Heron and vows revenge. The city-state falls to the forces of Seraphim, the demon leader. Seraphim's army takes Heron captive and encounters Hera. The goddess informs the demon leader of his true past and that he and Heron are half-brothers sharing a mother. Heron escapes and is brought to Olympus for training by Zeus, where he reveals Hera's deception. Hera resurrects the giants of the sea and assails Olympus, leading to a battle for the ages with the rise of a new demigod, Heron. We leave the story with the gods waging war against the giants and each other. Now I know, that is a really vague and watered-down synopsis. But it is important to know, this whole series takes place because Hera has had the last straw of Zeus's earthly shenanigans. She wants him to be faithful to her and her alone. She refuses to accept any of his children as gods, let alone family. Zeus lies to her about the existence of Heron, so when she finds out that he has actually been visiting the boy and his mother, she basically loses her shit. Unlike in Disney, where they're a happily married couple and Hera's a loving mother full of rainbows and sunshine, this Hera is much closer to the actual mythology. She's full of piss and vinegar topped with gunpowder and a strongly worded letter to the editor. She is not nice. It is in this show we see Hera taking on the role as the antagonist. Zeus knows what he did. He basically accepts that Hera's displeased and really does try to be better. But this one woman he simply can't ignore. And for that, Hera starts a war. She goes to the other gods and makes them doubt Zeus. She makes it so that the brother of his son kills the mortal woman in front of Hera. She is ruthless and vengeful. She doesn't seem to care who all she hurts or kills as long as she hurts Zeus. This is what I have wanted. A real depiction of the vengeful, spiteful, and selfish Greek gods of myth. We watch Hera destroy everything in her path, including countless lives, relationships, and Olympus. She has had enough and resurrects the single-handedly most deadly creature on the planet just to spite an unfaithful husband. Yeah, she's past the point of Haagen-Dazs in a Lifetime movie and moved on to complete annihilation. One of the things that really tie in what the Greek gods of myth are all about is that even though all of the strife and venom they spew at each other through the whole thing, they still seem to love each other in the end. It seems so ridiculous and toxic. And that's what the gods are all about. After Hera unleashes this extreme evil into Olympus, starts a war between the gods themselves, and murders countless people just to get revenge on Zeus, when she's nearly killed by the very monster she unleashed, Zeus comes to her aid and ends up dying. Even though throughout the entire show this is all Hera talks about is killing Zeus, you can see the sadness within her when it actually happens. The toxicity, senselessness, and violence, that's what makes the Greek gods so interesting, and we finally get to see that in Blood of Zeus. So in the end, we like to think of the gods as these all-powerful, all-knowing, mystical creatures that can do no wrong. They live happily and have no troubles of their own, only the troubles of their worshippers. However, in myths, the Greek gods are extremely flawed, to almost a humanizing extent. They make mistakes, they're vengeful, they feel extreme rage, and they can be bought fairly easily. The only difference is they have the innate power to take it to an inhuman level. So while Disney did their best to bring a bloody, rated R topic to the homes of children in an appropriate manner, the personalities of these mythical gods were lost. They continue to be pushed aside through most of the media to make a more palatable experience. So it is exciting to see the flawed gods of myth come to life in a show. The storyline and other characters are purely fictional, or loose representations of other mythological characters, but the main gods in the story are pretty accurate. Even though we all know Kratos kills them all in the end. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content. And if you haven't already, follow us on our Facebook page. The link is in the description below. Toodles!